Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm the drummer for Gibraltar.
Hi, I'm Holly Hauser. I play keyboards and sing backup vocals for Gibraltar.
Hi, my name is Gwen Stubbs, and I play bass for Gibraltar.
Hi, I'm Aaron, front person of the band Gibraltar. Been around for about 5 years. One of the pleasures of owning a sailboat is that you get to sail the boat. I don't own a sailboat, by the way. I own a van, so it's similar. But if you have the sailboat, if you have the band, then the band gets to do things, the sailboat gets to do things, right? So if you're not in a band, you don't get to go tour. If you're not in a band, you don't get to play shows, right? So the band facilitates these experiences in your life that aren't necessarily, can't be contained in any other way.
We're Gibraltar!
And you're watching on Band in Seattle.
Tonight on Band in Seattle, Gibraltar, recorded live at Victory Studios, performing songs from their new album, Let's Get Beautiful. Band in Seattle, uncover the music that moves you.
In the process of making the record, we thought it would be cool to have more of a thematic quality. So having instrumentals lends itself to that.
We really like this idea of having these sort of like interstitial moments between the songs where one thing would take you into the other. It's one of those songs that you write and you're like, this is pretty easy, it's so anthemic. Did we do something wrong? Like, should we go back and make it more complicated?
I always think of this song as a song that came out of another song that never was finished, like in starter cultures for yogurt. You never really eat all of it because you need to keep making more yogurt. Whenever we go to play it, I'm always reminded of the song that didn't get finished.
This is not how it ends, so don't condescend. The song, my friend, and all the words left unsaid. You said I could make it. You said I could take it. You said I would break it. In the end, I will.
Gwen and I get to yell in it, which is fun.
Which is very new to me.
We have like a sibling relationship. Being part of a band is like having another family. It's complex.
Well, the audition for Gibraltar, I had asked if it would be the whole band or who it would be, and his response has kind of stayed in the back of my head that it'll just be me, because if I don't like you, there's not much point to meeting anyone else.
I mean, I didn't, honestly know the four of us before I joined Gibraltar. Like Holly said, we're a little bit like siblings, and it's not perfect all the time, but it's really nice having that challenge.
So let's try to find a way to keep up.
formed them from clay, just from water and dirt. And I just crafted these people into fully formed adults. It's not unlike dating. I think it's actually harder than dating, probably. People find you, you find people, and you get in the room and you either trust each other or you don't trust each other. When people, have similar concepts for what they want things to sound like, you've got a band. But if you don't, you've got 4 people in a room all trying to angle for their sonic truth,
When we come back, we'll learn a lot more about Gibraltar.
It was obvious that she was a great piano player, and Gibraltar was, transitioning from one piano player to another, and it was like, well, this seems like a logical, cool fit. And I was like, you want to do this? I don't know many people that meet each other without serendipity. I mean, depending on what your focal length is, right? It's all serendipity. You cross the street at that time, and then. Who's been in the band the longest, second to me. She really is the glue between, the percussive element of the band and the harmonic element of the band. She's trying to figure out how to, interrelate these different rhythmical components on the piano and still harmonically have it work with the guitar and the vocals and create space and create dynamics, all while playing the piano. And Holly brings a very critical ear to the project. So, I can trust that when she's saying, it's not working, I really give that a lot of credence.
But don't worry, you'll make it on time.
Because having Holly in the band is great with an added element to just a guitar, bass, drum rock trio. Having piano and not just keys, actual rock piano, is just a really cool dynamic.
So we went to the same high school, but at different times. Our lives go certain directions, and then you run into people that are somehow on this very similar path, and you just kind of meet, and you're from this very similar background. There's one song that we play where we both start at the same time, and we have to look at each other to make sure that we're playing it at the same time, but we both just want to crack up laughing because we're just kind of complete goofballs.
First 10 years, it's probably my favorite song to play. It feels powerful. It just has a lot of really heavy chords, and you can kind of bang on them and sort of, you can feel the song as you're playing it.
Mentioned I'll never get it right. Mentioned I just this time. I'm gonna try to do it right.
actually started playing piano when I was 5. I was sort of one of those rare kids who started really young and actually really liked it. I just liked playing instruments. I was kind of that kid in band that if there was a song that required an instrument that nobody played, I would just pick it up and learn it for that song. The only instrument that I just cannot seem to like naturally pick up, and I play a little bit of it, is guitar. I don't know, like me and strings and my fingers just don't quite work together.
When we come back, we'll learn a whole lot more about Gibraltar.
Nick is like a baby brother that I want to give a noogie to like pretty much 90% of the time.
Let's Get Beautiful was the last song we actually wrote for the record. We'd written the song maybe a couple weeks before we went into the studio, played it live once, didn't get through it.
That is the song that you write 3 days before you go in the studio and you need one more song, and then you just kind of piece it together, and then it turns out to be a song that you love playing and that, you know, becomes kind of the center of the record. Nick, he brings a certain sort of sonic authority, and the best way with people in your band, where you don't have to say, you know, I wish it sounded like this thing that I can't quite hear. Kind of immediately, you know, when he joined, he was already kind of on the same page, but then expanding, you know, how big the page was.
Brother that I want to give a noogie to like pretty much 90% of the time. So Nick is a little bit younger than all of us, and I really love his enthusiasm. I can be a little bit grumpy because I've been doing this for so long, and it's really fun to see Nick kind of discover all of this for the first time.
Nick brings this like energy and this like visceral feel to his playing. I don't know if he mentioned that before he came to audition for Gibraltar, he had never actually played the songs on a drum kit. He had listened to them all and pounded them out in his car on his steering wheel, like while driving from Chicago. And to me, like that's brilliant.
Songs for a Car is actually where the album's title comes from. As we were playing it in practice, and the beautiful piano intro that starts the song is Holly's part, and I think Gwen had yelled out like, "All right, gang, let's get beautiful." We keep a whiteboard of just throwaway sayings or anything that's funny in practice. We just write down, and as we were getting ready to try to title some things, we saw that on there and like, "Let's Get Beautiful," and circled that.
Wasting all this time, 'cause it's not like
interview audition. The audition was the first time I'd actually played them on a drum kit because I left my drums in Chicago. So I had been drumming on a steering wheel, drumming on my lap, just to feel in time, and I used the drum kit in the space, and the rest is the rest.
After the break, lots more to uncover about Gibraltar.
I get really bored if I'm just playing in a band that's like, okay, we're just gonna rest on our laurels and just do the same songs we've been doing forever and not progressing.
They're All Right Without You came from an afternoon session where Nick and I were down in the practice space, and I think we were just trying to play like some ridiculous riffs, like just like something that wouldn't instinctively like, you know, come out of an acoustic guitar. It was almost like an embarrassing guitar riff, like that. It just felt almost embarrassing.
Every day, I see you walk and I walk away. I see it every day. I call you up and take away. I see you walk away. I call you bluff and say today I know you're gonna stay, just like you did yesterday. Oh, I wanna play. I want you to stay. Oh, I wanna play. I want you to.
It kind of brings a little bit of my own personal background of playing punk, and so there's kind of a cool juxtaposition between what I'm playing versus what Holly's playing later in the song.
And then Gwen on bass, she brings a certain sort of like punk rawness to the low end of the band, like a degree of ferocity that I think that, you know, it may sound pretty up here, but the low end is just pushing and is gnarly.
Gonna stay. Got you and every day. Know you wanna stay. Know you love your sunny days. It's gonna rain. It's like it did yesterday. I think it's gonna rain. It's like it did yesterday. Oh, I wanna stay. I want you to play. Oh, I wanna stay.
Gwen is the newest member of the band, so it's been really fun to have her energy and enthusiasm and just pure excitement for playing and for playing shows. I'm one of those people who is very much affected by the people I'm surrounded by and by the people I'm on stage with.
I think that playing music to me is essential to my soul, and I actually have a little bit of a challenge with it sometimes because I can't live with it, but I can't live without it. I've been performing since I was 3 or 4, and so being on the stage is very essential to my well-being, really.
What did I say?
I hope people like it. I hope people appreciate it, or I hope it's something that people can catch on to and vibe with. And if they don't dig it, they don't dig it, but I dig it.
Since high school, I've never not been in a band. I've never really not had shows, so I don't really know how not to do it. It's not a separate thing that I do. It's not a hobby. It's just a thing that I do.
To uncover more of the music that moved you tonight, go to bandinseattle.com where you can learn more about Gibraltar and watch their full concert. Tune in next week to uncover more music that moves you on Band in Seattle.